Hi guys, so today we are going to do how to write sample space in probability. Okay, so this particular task is quite overwhelming because most of us are unable to frame the sample space in probability and thus they have all their questions go wrong. Okay, so it turns out bizarre because we do not know how to mentally apply ourselves to frame the sample space. But today I'm going to explain you or give you a trick how we'll be able to get the sample space, whether we are tossing a single coin or two coins, okay, or three coins, or for that matter even four unbiased coins, okay, simultaneously. So if we have to understand what sample space is, okay, it will be very important for us to know that it is the set of all those possible outcomes, okay, which have been obtained through random experiment. What do you mean by random experiment? Random experiment where you haven't tried to, okay, use some trick or use some kind of a foley to be able to, okay, change the outcome. For example, if we toss a coin, we obviously get two most likely outcomes, either a head or a tail, isn't it? What about it? So how do we write the sample space in probability? Okay, let's start with the first one. One unbiased coin tossed, okay, one time. So when you toss a coin has got two outcomes, either a head or a tail. It can't bring both together, okay. Either it will bring head or tail, am I right? So to be able to do so, we have this formula here. If there is one coin which has got two options, say head and tail, so one coin, so 2 to the power 1, therefore we get 2, which means the element in the sample space would be head and tail. Alright? So we'll get 2, okay, options or 2 outcomes, either a head or a tail. I hope it is clear. On the contrary, when you are using 2 coins, tossing it, okay, simultaneously, we get 4 outcomes. 4, okay, outcomes in total in the sample space. Alright. So, this is the sample space and this represents, okay, short form of sample space. So, in that case, since we have got 2 coins and 2 other options which we get is head and tail, so 2 to the power 2 gives us 4, right? And how do we devise or how do we get this, okay, without applying ourselves too hard, okay? So what do we do is we write, okay, first alternatively head, tail, head, tail. We have written one's head here. Next line, next column, we write double head, 2 times head and 2 times tail. Do you get it? That's all, and we are sorted out. So we have 2 heads here, 1 head, 1 tail, 1 head, and 2 tails here. Means all tails here, all head over here. Okay, from all these, okay, elements, we will have to work out questions on whether how many heads are we getting, how many tails are we getting, or at least or at most, you know, such kind of questions we'll be doing in the next video. But presently I'm teaching you how to write sample space, how to make a sample space in probability. In the instance of 3 unbiased coins tossed simultaneously, what do we do? In that case, the task will be a little more complicated. But don't you worry, because this trick applies to them too, even for 4. Okay, so let me just show you. So as you can see, 3 coins are being tossed. Okay, because there are 3 coins, so we give an exponent to 2 as 3, 2 to the power 3, which means 8 outcomes. Okay, 8 total outcomes we'll get. How? In the same manner we did for the second question, which involved 2 coins tossed simultaneously. So in the first column, okay, we go alternatively H, T, H, T, H, T, H, T. Second column asks for a doubling of head. 2H, 2 tail, 2H, 2 tails. H are the heads, 2 heads, 2 tails, 2 heads and 2 tails. Alright? And the third column, okay, will have, remember, 3 columns for 3 coins being tossed. Okay, so in the third column, what do we get? We get to double this 2H here to 4. H, 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 H. Okay, 4 heads first and then 4 tails. Okay, now here we did not have to think much. Okay, we didn't stress our mind, because this is a plain way, okay, which sorts out the entire procedure easily. So when we write them down here as sample space, we have to give them, okay, a sequence like this. Okay, the same sequence you had it over here, H, 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 triple H here, then H, H, T, then H, T, H, okay, H, T, 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 H, H, T, H, H, then T, H, T, T, H, T, then T, T, H, T, T, H, and T, T, T. All tails here. Okay? So now we are in a position to answer any questions that comes, okay, from this sample space, which definitely I am bringing, okay, soon after uploading this video. Okay, so keep a track. Okay guys, now for 4 coins simultaneously, okay, tossed, what will be the result? What will be the total number of outcomes? So for that matter, we do not have to much think. We'll have to just follow this procedure: head, tail, head, tail, head, tail. Now how far do we go down? This is going to, okay, be implemented here. 2 to the power 4, 16. So we have to go till 16 rows. Alright, so we have got 16 rows over here, and this determines how many rows we will have. Why 4 over here? Because we have got 4 coins. Why 2 here? Because we have got 2 options. Okay, 2 choices, a head and a tail. Alright, so having got 16, we write alternative here. In the second line, we write doubling them. So let's see how. Okay, so we have single H here, but here look at it, we have double H, HH, TT, HH, TT, HH, TT, HH, TT. What about the third column? We double this. We have double 1 to 2. Now 2 will double into 4. So H, 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 T, 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 H, 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 T, 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 T. Simple. And in the fourth column, like we had over here, which covered all the 8 rows by half of heads and half of them as tails, we do the same here. We have got H 8 here and tail 8 here. in 8 rows we have tails, and in this 8 rows we have got H. Alright, that is the head. Now the same thing is copied down over here with a certain formalities. We brace them, we put the braces, we put the curly bracket, and within the first bracket we put them, okay, in proper alignment, H comma H comma, and like that. This is the whole thing that we do it, and thus we are able to, okay, find our sample space. Which means, in other words, in CBSE board we call it as total number of outcome, possible outcome. There is a possibility that any of them can happen. If there will be 4 coins tossed in the air, any of these can take place. Understood? So these are the possibilities which we are able to derive and understand. Okay. Now on the basis of this, okay, outcome or the result, we'll definitely be able to, okay, work out questions which will ask us in varied ways. Okay, like what is the possibility or probability of having 2 heads, okay, or what is the probability of having at least 2 heads, what is the probability of having at most, say, 3 tails, like that. Understood? So these are the questions which, okay, often bothers us. Now I hope I have made this clear, and if there is still any query, so do ask me in the comment box, guys, and I'm bringing very soon, okay, after uploading this, another video which will have questions based on, say, 2 unbiased coins when tossed, okay, simultaneously. So what will be the probability of getting 2 heads, or no heads, or 1 head, or at most 1 head, or 1 tail, or at most 2 heads, and so on and so forth. All right, so bye bye for now. I hope this video adds value to your education. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for being there watching my video. Thanks a lot. Bye bye. If there is any query, do ask me in the comment box. I'll answer them definitely. Bye bye for now.